I recently watched a video of a young lady who was documenting her year-long, quote unquote, journey of a self-discovery where she discovered the genitalia of 300 different men in the sequence of 365 days. Now, this would be mind blowing for me if I had not read almost simultaneously or heard a story of another young lady about the same age who had slept with 100 men or discovered, this is journey of self-discovery of 100 men in 24 hours. But that's a story for another time. The reason why I'm getting into this story of the 300 and 365 days is because the part that really actually got my attention most was not, this debauchery, because we've just normalized this level of ratchetness, of dysfunction, of projected trauma, etc. Right? But nevertheless, what really got my attention was how at the end of 365 days, this young woman was now complaining about how no men were willing to take her serious in the city that she was in. And not only that, but she was blaming them for the reason as to why she can't find a serious relationship. Mind you, this is a young woman who made the conscious decision to sleep with as many men as she could in the context of a year, as many one night stands as she could, to just, again, literally just to toss it out there, frisbee style, without an expectation for the frisbee to ever return. Just completely chuck it all the way out there. And had the audacity at the end of a calendar year to gaslight all men into not wanting her for a serious partner. Now, I'm not even going to get into the conversation of body count, this and that. I'm just going to get down to the fact that this is an individual who has zero self-respect, zero dignity, has to be deeply traumatized, has to. And my ladies out there, you know what I'm talking about. It's difficult for y'all, like a real lady, it's difficult for you to lay down with one dude and not feel some type of way. It's strange, it's obscure, just to give yourself to anybody, all types of soul ties and emotional ties and chemistry bonding, and oh my God, there is so much that's within just the process, just one man, let alone 300 men. And this was in 1 year. And she said, she had, caught multiple bodies by that point. But this year was going to be her true journey before she finally embarked into a monogamous relationship with one dude. And by the way, there was a sucker who bit the bait and they were broken up within, the matter of a few weeks or something like that, or a few months, a couple of months, simply because she cannot be in a serious relationship. She cannot be in a serious relationship. Oh, but that's so mean. That's judgmental. No. She literally does not have the habitual processing. She doesn't have the behavioral characteristics. She does not have the functioning and the wiring of a brain that would allow her to bond to one partner. She does not have it. It's gone. Those receptor sites have been completely destroyed. It takes upwards to 90 days to form a new habit to where it becomes a part of your lifestyle and a characteristic where it is automated in your body. Upwards to 90 days. For 365 days, she has been practicing the very opposite of monogamy, the very opposite of pair bonding. And that's what a relationship comes down to, the ability to connect and bond to this one individual, mentally, emotionally, physically. That ability is gone. And again, if this was a man, I say the same thing. I heard this crazy story of some dude. I don't even want to say his name because I don't want to give him any type of press. But he said he had bodied 3,000 women. He's one of them content creators. They say spicy content. Ain't nothing spicy about it. It's toxic and it's dysfunctional and it's problematic. He's one of them problematic content creators. And I guess he's been spreading the herps across the community. And one chick came out and she was talking about how she got this and she got that from him. And now she's, telling her story. And then all these other people coming out and they did the math on it. And like, damn, at least, a few hundred of y'all got to have this now because he was just slanging that thing and y'all were just going with it. Like it was whatever. It just blows my mind where we've come genuinely. All pun intended. No Diddy. Pause. But this story, again, the reason why I felt the need to speak on it, and I was looking for the angle and how am I going to approach this, but I said, you know what, just tell it as it is, and wherever it goes is where it goes. We have this delusion in this generation where we can act in any sort of way and still get the byproduct we want. And that comes with everything. It's like this instant gratification. I want to be able to work one day and I want to get a raise. I remember when I was employing people, I was head of marketing at a CBD company, and I was hiring people for my department. And all of a sudden, I had, these young college students, kids coming out of school, woo, woo, woo. And I remember sitting down with this young lady and, we were having our conversation, her interview, real good interview. She seemed like she'd be somebody who was willing to do the work. The next day, she comes into my office and she says, can I talk to you after work? I was like, of course, most definitely. We could sit down. And we ended up doing it after a shift. And she said, I need more money. Like I need to be paid more. Mind you, she was getting paid $20 out of college. Never had a job before, ever. She was getting paid $20 to be basically a social media assistant, right? $20. This is before all the changes in the law. This is like 4, maybe 5 years ago. And I was curious as to why she was demanding this when, again, the day before it seemed like everything was fine. But also, you ain't done nothing yet. Like you literally have done nothing yet. You went to school, you learned theory. You have not even touched a social media account. You don't even know what the hell you're doing. So we're really paying you to learn the job, right? Needless to say, within a week, she was gone. So this same type of mentality is the very same toxic mental virus that has taken over our generation. And I'm not just saying Gen Z. I mean like the age that we're in, right? I'm talking about us as a collective where we believe that we can move ratchet as hell. We can move without any self-respect, but we deserve to be respected. And that's foolishness. It's nonsense. You might want to shame people into buying into that narrative, but it doesn't work anymore. It don't work. People aren't falling for it anymore. We're here with the truth and for the truth. If you want to create standards for something that you want or somebody you want, you have to live by the same standards. If you're about to get into a business agreement, the first thing you do with the business partner, if you are just at least have an iota of some intelligence, is you're going to vet them. You're going to check the background. You're going to make sure you get to know everything about them. If you're taking a job for $10 an hour, you're still going to have a background check. They're going to have you go through all types of processes just so they know that they're not dealing with a loony. You understand me? And so when you're getting into a relationship, imagine how much more that matters. And so you've got public documentation that you're somebody who literally just sees your body as a toxic wasteland that is willy-nilly. It's for anybody who wants it. And then now you're going to cry victim that nobody wants to actually engage with you seriously. The man who commits, this is a piece of sideline game. The man who commits is looking for very specific characteristics, just as the woman who is committed is looking for specific characteristics. The one who ends up in a healthy, functional relationship dynamic, a respect-filled relationship, not this new nonsense we've made up, but a true healthy relationship dynamic, a mature relationship. That individual right there moves in a certain way and they have certain expectations of how other people are going to move in a relationship. Like that level of relationship, functional relationships, they're not the one who's going to say, oh, I know that I'm in a committed relationship, but Chris Brown is a once in a lifetime chance. I got somebody who commented that in one of my videos. They're like, don't listen to this man. Chris Brown is your once in a lifetime opportunity. I said, damn, that's sad. That's the highlight of your life. You could have a whole ass husband, but the highlight of your life romantically is to take a picture with this Negro who pretends to care about you for 30 seconds of a picture, grabs your cheeks, gives you a calendar, and make sure that your deposit hit for that $1,000 for that 30-second meetup. That's the highlight? Madness. But that's a story for a whole nother time. What I'm getting to here is simple. The expectations that you have upon your relationship must match the way that you are showing up in life. Simple as that. If you are expecting something of another, you must be embodying that. You want to be respected, you must be somebody who's worthy of respect. And if you cannot respect your own body, you're already showing to yourself and the rest of the world. Just because a man will lay up with you does not mean he will stay up with you. It does not mean they care about you or respect you or see any long-term prospects with you. It's an animal act to them. If you really want to get down to it, they will forget about you tomorrow. If a dude is willing to just lay up with you, he doesn't even have to know your first name. And you think this person cares about you. You've mistaken attention for love. And that's where you got the whole game fucked up. They don't love you. They don't love you. They don't care about you. And until you start caring about you and loving you and showing up in a real way that actually resonates with that, it's going to be no different. And you can't pretend it. You can't fake it. You either got it or you don't. You either have healed from those inner wounds. You've either shifted your mental conditioning and are rewiring your thought process, or you aren't. You can't pretend. You can't fake it. You can't put a front on it. You can't put, it's like if there's doo-doo in the room, you can Febreze the room all you want. If there's still doo-doo in there, still going to stink. It's just going to be Febreze and doo-doo. That's all it's going to be. You got to clean it up. You got to change the way in which you're moving if you want something different. And again, consequences are a byproduct of action. So it's like if somebody commits a crime, you might have rehabilitated yourself. You're still going to do the time for the crime. That's life. There are consequences to the decisions that we make. You have to live with the consequences of the decisions that you make. If the consequences, nobody gonna take you serious. Like, a lot of these OnlyFans models, et cetera, now they're coming out trying to look for a real job, et cetera. And they're struggling to find, a company who will take them in because their entire history is on the internet. And these companies don't want that as a representation in their company. You made the decision, but I was young, but I was dumb. I understand that. I got homies in a grave right now because we were young and we were dumb. But the consequences came with it. The consequences came with when your body first rejected that first time you felt uncomfortable and didn't want to be in that situation, and you didn't want to hook up, and but you just went along with it anyway. That was the first indicator that your body was sending you a direct response mechanism to say, this isn't it. This isn't it. But you bypass, you use that as a coping mechanism. You chose not to heal time and time again. And so now you're in a heap of trouble. Now you're in a worse situation. And I'm not saying it's over for you, that you're cooked. I'm not the one to say that. But I will tell you the truth, that things have changed now. You're going to have to do a sentence. Now you put the information out on the internet on top of that. And I'm glad you did. Because now people can make an honest decision. There's like dudes like that dude I told you who's not even telling people he's got some type of, venereal. He should be locked up for life for that. That's appalling. Lying about it or whatever it may be. That is appalling. So I'm not saying you're going to prison. I'm saying you create a prison for yourself within your own life where you're not going to be taken serious. There's going to be a multitude of dudes who just look at you as that's what you are. And you can be angry all you want. You can protest. You can call it insecurity. You can do whatever you want. It's not going to change the reality that this is how the world has perceived you because it's how you presented yourself. If I show up over here, just looking crazy. I mean, sometimes maybe I am looking a little crazy. But if I'm over here looking crazy and somebody takes me for that, that's on me because that's how I'm showing up. I'm representing myself like that. I show up to a job interview with flip-flops on, a goddamn hoodie on, you know what I mean? Chains on, whatever. And I'm trying to get a sales job at Salesforce or something like that. Come on. Why would they take me? Why should they take me serious? I'm not taking me serious. And so that's the moral of the story is to say, like, look, if you're somebody who's serious about this, you're beyond the excuses because all excuses give you is the same result. You might feel good in the moment. Oh, I told them. They can't tell me what to do, but somebody's trying to help you. And it's like, okay, fine, be that. But if you're serious about it, you're going to heed wisdom and you're going to move accordingly. You're going to move wisely. Take this as a cautionary tale, not as an example. That's the thing I greatly fear is that you have these people and they just set a precedent of like, oh, look, I can do that. That's cool too. And then now you just have more and more and more of that. And then all of a sudden, all of y'all are, find yourself on the outside. You're done. You're cooked. You're really cooked now. You're really cooked. You done spent the last 10, 15, 20 years giving your body up like an offering at the altar. And all of a sudden, damn, you find yourself lonely, miserable. Nobody's taking you serious. Maybe you got a few kids, but nobody really wants to commit. Or the man that you're with is not the man that you would actually want to be with. It's the one that you had to settle into because you made these decisions. That's life. Life is consequences. And we must take responsibility and accountability of our actions. That's a scary, terrifying word in 2024. But it doesn't mean that it's not the truth.
I used to be afraid of the dark, a place unknown like a heart in their heart. I used to see my life in the bar. Now the kids unchained, every shackle is lost. 2 steps in the moonlight, 2 step in the daytime. You just know when it feel right. You got a feeling the time's nigh. See you through those shades that I just threw on. Through my lenses, you just can't do no wrong. I fell in love with myself again. I fell in love with myself. I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light.